Everybody, it is Thursday. That means it is time for another Outriders Dev News Thursday. And in today's exciting episode, we got some big news on new developments relating to a potential change to the anti-duping implementation. If you weren't 100% happy of how it was implemented, well, there's a possible change that may be coming up depending on player feedback that could change things quite a bit. Also, some key mods and set bonuses that were bugged and causing a lot of potential builds to break to be fixed. Find out which ones and much, much more right after we unleash the dragon. All right, boys. Again, it is July 8th, and this is the dev news for Outriders for this Thursday. Now, let's talk about high level first, what's going to be covered. And remember, as always, you're going to have timestamps in the description below if you want to jump to the area that interests you most. So, we're going to be talking about the anti duping improvements, patch news and notes for next week. So, the patch is coming next week. I'm going to probably predict it's going to be next Tuesday, but it could be Thursday. Every time they've kind of pushed back a patch like this on a Thursday, it has been coming out on a Tuesday. So I'm feeling pretty confident it's only getting pushed to next Tuesday. So let's see what they say about anti-duping improvements. So according to the devs, it's now been a little while since we implemented our changes to the legendary drop rate system. We are able to see on a global analytics level that the beneficial impact these changes have made. I'm guessing, i.e., people are probably coming back and playing the game more. That is my interpretation. Analytics also indicate that the anti-duplication system is working well across the global population. As mentioned previously, it does not guarantee that you'll get a unique item with every drop, but it does appear to be significantly reducing the time until players receive new uniques. There's one outstanding question that we want to get everyone's thoughts on. The system currently rerolls a drop legendary item once if it identifies that you already have said item on your character in your inventory or stash. This system, however, can make it a bit harder to farm for an improved version of a particular item if you are specifically relying on an item for farming. Example, you have a Death Shield equipped but want to farm to get a better Death Shield roll. Death Shield, however, is a key component of your current build, which means that removing it from your character/stash in order to improve its drop chances may not be viable since doing so cripples your build. And this is something that people brought up. This was something I also brought up in my last video as a concern. And it's good to see that they're not blind, they're listening. And this is something that I think should be addressed. And let's see what they're proposing as a change. So the proposal is the anti-duplication system ignores any gear you currently have equipped when checking whether you currently own an item. Now, the pros is that this would make it easier to farm improved versions of your current equipped gear. Cons: the hunt for unique items could become a little longer again, as your currently equipped gear wouldn't trigger the anti-duplication system, i.e., 8 items would be added to the do not roll reroll pool. So, in my opinion, because these are items you already want, and unless you're lucky and you have a god roll, we wouldn't mind getting an extra duplicate and potentially getting a better roll. I personally think this is huge and they should 100% do this because, again, sure, is there a chance that you might be disappointed that you got a piece of gear you already got? Maybe, but let's be honest, especially when it comes to weapons, you are most likely will wanna and be able to get a better roll. And the only thing I can think of is they could, if they have the ability to do so, make it so that this only applies to weapons, because I don't think we're nearly as nitpicky when it comes to armor, and re-rolling like an 11,000 versus a 10,000 isn't that big of a deal. It's mainly the weapons people care about. So that would be my counter talk if anybody is anti this. But I'd love to hear what you think of this. So make sure to leave a comment below. Do you like their system? Do you like the kind of in between? Maybe have this apply to the weapons but not armor, so that you're not getting duplicates of armor as often, but you are still able to get that death shield, as I said, or whatever other weapon you want to kind of min-max. So note, as this is a global invisible back-end system, there is no way to turn it on or off on a player-by-player basis. A pick and choose your own reward option is also not feasible within the design of the game. So this is something that I had mentioned in my video where I said, hey, at the end of the mission, can we have like 3 different items to pop up and you pick the one you select? And clearly that is not possible in their infrastructure, unfortunately, even though it works for quest rewards. Go figure. Such a change wouldn't be present in our current patch, but could potentially be worked into the patch thereafter. What do you think? So they have a dedicated sub-thread that you can check out and leave your comments on to let them know your thoughts. Now, they have additional information on patch news for the next patch. As they mentioned here, and as I kind of predicted even before reading this, latest patch isn't quite ready to release today as we're continuing to test it. We are aiming to release it early next week, ideally on Tuesday. They have been successful at getting this, so let's cross our fingers that they're going to continue this format. So here's what you can look forward to as part of the upcoming patch. And there's a couple really big things here. So some of the minor things improve, well, not minor for Xbox players, I guess. Improved faster Xbox sign-in process. Improved matchmaking to reduce the chance of matching with an AFK player. So those are okay. Interacting with NPCs or configuring skills, mods, or builds is not considered AFK behavior. So that's interesting. Do people think that? That interacting and you have to be like moving or something? I don't know. But it says, though being inactive for 2+ minutes while being in menus or dialogue options is. So it sounds like if you're moving your mouse, for example, you're probably active. Otherwise, you could be inactive. Improve the visibility of Broodmother's surge AoE attacks, the blue flames. That's always helpful because those do a tremendous amount of damage. And this is where the good stuff begins, boys. First big mod change. Fix the bug where Scrap Grenade would stop working after cinematic or when rejoining a session. This is huge. People that use this Scrap Grenade mod, this would basically destroy their runs when this happened. And finally, after months, this has been fixed. And then the one I've been waiting for, so I can finally unleash the beast with my latest build. Resolved an issue with the Technomancer Borealis set and changed the description to match its new behavior. So let's look at the comparison. The new design description says increases damage on frozen enemies by X. And I want to emphasize this, increases damage. This isn't just weapon damage anymore. It's now anomaly damage and weapon damage. So in theory, this set, even though the firepower on the armor isn't optimal, this now could be used for both, in theory, anomaly, as well as firepower builds, potentially. And it should be 90%, I believe. It says by X for now. Also, crit hit damage is increased by Y for all party members for Z seconds after cold snap. The second part has always been an afterthought. We really care about this first part. So as long as that's still 90%, and now it's increased damage instead of increased weapon damage, that is going to be amazing. And it's going to really help the Technomancer get a little closer to some of the overpowered stacking of Pyromancers. But let's be honest, not even close still, since, Pyromancers with Heatwave and a Akari set can stack like, 400-500% AP damage, but or AP score. So that's a conversation for a different time. But still, this would be a huge step forward for the Technomancer. Now let's get something like this that is this awesome for the Trickster and or Devastator. It'd be nice to have them have something similar. All right. I guess Devastator has that 50% bleed extra damage. That's pretty good, but not quite as good as this. All right. So fix the bug that could cause the Trickster hunt the prey to get stuck on activation. That's good. Fix the bug whereas bleed status from the armor mod Bloody Crush would not be inflicted on enemies hit with the Gravity Leap skill. Interesting. I didn't know there was that issue there, but that's good to know. And the next one is really big for survival for those of people that had this issue. Fix the bug whereby the Devastator's blood donation class node wouldn't work if the player didn't have other active skill life leech nodes or mods. This is really rare. Most people that go for an AP, blood build for healing, they're going to have at least some skill leech, but I guess there were rare scenarios where they had none. and this wouldn't work. So now those small percentage of players are taken care of. Clarify the description for the Ravenous Locust mod. I'm curious what this means because the Ravenous Locust mod is horrible. Devs, if you happen to read this, the problem is it's low damage, it's damage over time, enemies can move out of the way, and it's an 8-second cooldown. So either lower that cooldown to 3 seconds or 5 seconds at most, or up the damage a ton, or this is still going to remain a useless mod. Fix the bug where dismantling an item might not have displayed a mod preview. A fixed issue that would cause the in-sync accolade to not properly unlock for client players. Fixed issues that could cause players to not get the proper reward if they completed an expedition during the final second of the reward tier. Interesting. I'm sure we've all probably experienced this once or twice and not even realized it. And other bugs and crashes. Now there's also include a tweak / small rebalance for the Pyromancer Healthy Lifestyle mod for those that use this. I personally haven't used it on a Pyromancer, but maybe you have. This change should improve survivability while channeling the skill. So the new description reads, Phaser Beam boosts your health regeneration X for the skill duration, while before it said boost your health regeneration by X for Y seconds after the skill ends. So I guess the idea is because you're channeling it, you're not able to move out of the way as much. You're more likely to take damage during the cast and the charge as opposed to after. This makes sense, although I could see some people, if they built around it somehow, could complain and wish they had it afterwards. But I think this makes sense how this was probably intended to be utilized. Okay. So there's still other issues that need to be worked on. Obviously, the biggest one that stands out for me here is still Trickster Hunt the Prey does not turn players towards an enemy's back. If aiming down sight immediately after activation. That's the biggest one that are listed here. Devastator skill may have inconsistent damage output, particularly when using Bleed and Moaning Winds combo, which is interesting. Devastator armor mod Despair doesn't increase anomaly damage consistently. This is big as well. My Hulk Smash build utilized Despair originally, and I was so disappointed that this wasn't working. So they said this one may be resolved in the next patch, which would be great because we can stick that back on there, and my Hulk Smash will quite literally smash even more than it currently does. Make sure to check out that in my build section. So those are the major changes. So again, some big potential changes, especially exciting news for Technomancers that use scrap grenades and the Technomancer Borealis set. Those are the big elements, and let's see what the public says and what they think about changing or not changing the anti-duplication improvements. So again, make sure to leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Would love to hear your feedback. Also, do you like these changes? Is this enough? I know they're still supposed to be getting us skill buffs across the board. That sounds like it's not quite there yet, but hopefully if this goes live Tuesday, maybe by next Thursday, we'll hear about that next patch, and hopefully they'll be coming soon so that there are even more viable builds. All right, boys, it's Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be informed when the next video drops. See you guys.